Now, before we get started with the reports, I want to give a shout out to Mechanical Warhorse. I'm starting with my Saturday and Sunday games. They gave me a bunch of templates and different tokens and markers to use for the games. These are all incredible. Hopefully, you should be seeing a lot of them being used in my games for Saturday and Sunday. Unfortunately, I didn't have them for the Friday night games, but they were a sponsor for Brawler Bash, and they were fantastic. I highly recommend them to everybody out there. Okay, guys, before we start off here with the Brawler Bash reports, I want to say here, you can see here that the Busey Troll and Malorian's Trollette, they struck up on romance here during Brawler Bash. And I had a video of, it can be an epic video, set to the Tears for Fears song, Head Over Heels, involving this romance. But YouTube would not let me put this up. It automatically blocks it, so I'm not going to be able to have the video up. The video does exist, though. Anyway, let's get to the reports. Okay, also let me apologize for my voice. I've got the post Brawler Bash 3 days, 8 games, voice is gone, blues. So it's gonna sound a little bit rough probably. Okay, so here's our first report. It's for me and Malorian team up in the doubles tourney, which was on Friday before Brawler Bash. We're going to be double orcs, of course, and our first opponent's going to be Dark Elf Lizardmen Alliance. These are two guys I know. They played our store a lot. They have their own little club, but sometimes they'll caucus with the fancy lads when their whole club doesn't show up to an event. But right now they had enough of their members so that they were in their own club. So this is something on should be fun. It was two guys I've played against before. Let's see what happens. In our scenario, these are basically the Brawler Bash scenarios, is that we cannot choose our own objective cards like you could for Brawler Bash. So the objective card here was just you could fire 100 victory points for controlling more table quarters, and that was just for both players. I mean, for both teams, we didn't get to choose that. The scenario here is where you keep 150 victory points for each of your small three of the units, of the enemy's three smallest units that you kill, and you get 150 victory points for each of your core units above half strength at the end of the game. And we're going to look at Malorian and my armies. I've said, I think the last time, if you remember seeing my other doubles tournament where we played double orcs, me and one of my club mates, I really feel like double orcs are way better than single orcs. I think in doubles, a lot of the different armies from the same book can have good synergies, but I think it's especially true for orcs. And I know some of the allies from different books have some good synergies, but I think um, those are a little bit more difficult to pull off than double orcs are. Although I do think things like I almost think anything with dark elves is good now at this point. But we also going to see we're going to see a lot of desperate alliances in this tournament where I really wasn't expecting that. I don't know how much the opponents realized how bad desperate alliances really were. So here with our first opponents in their list. This is from memory. Somehow I've lost all three of the list from the doubles tournament, but I have all five of the list from the main tournament. Um, Basically, best I can remember, both of them have special characters, and I think that's taking up most of their points between the Takawaku, Kaku, I don't know his name, and LeBron. Um, Also, with desperate alliances, not only can they not use their general leadership from each other and the BSB, they also can't put characters in each other's units, and they also have to split up their magic dice for power and dispel. And that's a very, very big hindrance to each other. And I really wasn't expecting to see so many desperate alliances. I don't know if the people realized that was that bad, or if they just felt the synergy was good enough to get away with it. But there was a lot of desperate alliances at this tournament. I think there were 16 teams total, and there was quite a few desperate alliances. So just to look at our deployment, and we're basically castling up in this corner here. with most of our army. Um, with all three hordes in this corner with all the war machines stacked up behind it and the bunker. And then on this far side we have our two Wolfrider units. Now our two Wolfrider units and the single troll are our three smallest units. And that's what we need to. I don't think we're getting, for this scenario, I don't think we're getting points for keeping our stuff alive. But the Wolfriders are core units, so we need to get them alive. But the smallest units, we're not getting points for that. We need to kill their smallest units. But it was odd that it didn't show that we were getting points for keeping it alive, as far as I know, anyway. So this is our opponent's army. Most of it, there's some skinks that you can't see on the picture. And then they're going to have three units of scout and chameleon skinks that we'll see in the next picture. But I think the very, very biggest mistake they made to start off with is they're going to have Tekawaku. I'm not going to. I'm going to call him Teku from now on. He's going to be in a unit of skinks, and with the amount of shooting we have, that's going to make him a very easy pickings if we get first turn. All right, now we're going to take a look at their deployment of their scouts. They're the three units of chameleon skinks, and I really like those little round skirmishing trays that they had. I thought those were really neat. And these are the vanguards. They're a special character for the Lizardmen. That was letting them vanguard up units. As you can see, they've already vanguarded the Sars and the Skinks with him up to where the Chameleon Skinks were. We vanguarded our Wolfriders back. We probably should have vanguarded one up to try to block the vanguard of their Dark Riders. I mean, not the Dark Riders, the Warlocks. The thing was, you get 150 extra victory points for every core unit of ours that we kept above half strength. And, them killing it didn't matter as much as us losing victory points from them being alive. So it was a tough decision. It's really tough for these scenarios when you have units that are critical to use, like Wolfriders, but you lose victory points if they die. So we just basically decided to move them back and try to save them for more important uses later on. So we win first turn, and this is showing you right here, that's the most important thing. We had two level 1 Night Goblin Shamans. We were saying one of us needs to roll to get Vindictive Glare. My little Night Goblin Shaman rolls and gets Vindictive Glare. So I start off by casting that and his Chameleon Skinks, and I wiped just like a boosted version, and I wiped that unit of Chameleon Skinks right off the bat. We only had 3 level 1s, so we didn't have a lot of magic, but I mean, I rolled perfectly. I got Airy Go for my Savage Orc Shaman, Vindictive Glare for my level 1 Shaman. Those are the 2 spells we really needed, other than Full of Gork, which we didn't get. I think Malorian got Gork will fix it. So basically, we really got 2 good spells that were really useful for us. Now let's go to shooting. Look at this. What's missing? That Teku guy. We just pour into this unit with Doom Divers. Then start putting rock lobas on his head. One of the rock lobas gets a direct hit. We kill him right off the bat. This is huge. Like I said, it was a fairly big mistake to have him in this unit to start off with. Probably should have been in the SARS. I don't know if he could join it. I guess he could join the SARS, but he probably should have been in there. It would have been much safer than being the Skink unit. So this is their turn 1, and you can see they're starting to sweep across the side here. And they were much faster than us. That's why we were castled up. We're going to have to worry about the Warlocks now. The Lizardmen, this is the great thing. The Lizardmen, well, it's not great for them, for us, though. The Lizardmen have no more magic. So this is going to be during magic phases. When they split their dice, any dice that goes to Lizardmen are completely lost. So this is a huge boost to us because the Lizardmen special character is dead. So in their magic phase, they don't have much to do other than just doing the big casting from the Warlocks here at Malorian Savages. I can't remember the name of the spell, but it kills 9 Savage Orcs. This is a big hurting to his unit, but they don't really have a lot of, other than the Hellebrand unit, they don't really have a lot that can stand up to us. And I don't even think the Hellebrand unit can take on 2 units of big and Savage Orcs. So now we're in our turn 2. And Malorian is taking this is his general. And he's put in here to slow down the hordes coming, well, not the hordes, but the bigger units coming from the Dark Elves. And this is another good thing about having an alliance in the same book. Basically, his general's level leadership 5. It doesn't matter if his general dies, especially in this format where it's the Carnage system. So, we're not losing a lot of points. The extra 100 points for him being a general is not really hurting us. Because I have a leadership 9 general, that's all the general really need. So he's able to take out here and sacrifice his level 1 for the greater good. So in our shooting phase now, we're starting to try to concentrate on these not dark, the witch elves, trying to pepper them down some because they're too much really to handle for right now. The skinks back here, I think they're inside the building. That's why they're ranked up like that. So the dark elf Lizardmen turn two, and basically, I think they just shoot apart Malorian's general, and then just doing some shifting over there where they're coming right on their flank here. Because they're having to split their power dice, they really don't think they get anything done this turn for magic, and there's really no combat, so they have a pretty quick turn here. Okay, so what happens here? Let's go through this. We have a clear shot to charge the Witch Elves with Malorian's horde, and we decide, sacrificing his horde is worth it to whittle down these Witch Elves. So he charges his horde on in. Then I'm like, let's move the troll behind it so when the Witch Elves overrun, they'll have to stop at the troll, and then, they'll kill the troll on their turn, and then we can just wipe out the rest of that witch unit because it'll be basically stuck in place, or when it overruns, it'll be right there where my Savage Horde is. So that's basically what happens. The Savages go in, and this is the great thing. They decimate Malorian Savages, but he has enough guys left. He concentrates all the attacks he can on Hellebron and kills Hellebron right out. And then he kills a ton more Witch Elves with what he has left. He's still lost by a ton. He breaks, and he gets ran down completely. But only things left is like 2 or 3 Witch Elves and the BSB for the Dark Elves, Witch Elves. So that's great. They overrun into the Troll. It just works out perfectly for us. When we look at the rest of the table on our turn, Malorian and Squigs charge some Chameleon Skinks. They hold. Well, they stand and shoot. They get wiped out, and he overruns to this point right here. And we move up our Wolf Riders here to try to slow down this big wheel of a flank here that they have their fast units from going into our War Machines too fast. Our shooting, I think we just start shooting at Chameleon Skinks and stuff, trying to whittle them down, and we don't really get much done. I think we do maybe wipe out another unit of Skinks or something probably, but we don't do as much here in shooting or magic this time. So we're into their turn 3, and they start charging their Wolf Fighters we're trying to slow them down with. And their plan basically is to try to get around our rear here into our War Machines and our bunker and take as much of that out as possible. It's not as big a deal for us now because we've taken out Hellebron, we've taken out Tokuwaku, basically the Witch Elves are almost gone, and so it's only the Stars to really worry about. So that's most of their points. We can almost sacrifice all of our rest of our chaff and our War Machines for the fact that we have the greater chunk of their points in our grasp. So this is the end of their turn. They've killed the Troll, and they've overrun right smack dab to where my giant Savage Horde is. Malorian and Squig Horde can just charge into the Squigs in the building. Then I can charge my guys into the flank of the Witch Elves, and they're in a lot of trouble. And I think it's because of the position they put their Saurus in. I've got a great flank shot at those Saurus after I've wiped up the Witch Elves. They destroy our Wolf Fighters with their Warlocks, so they overrun into one here. And the other Warlock unit, I think, has gone far down, and it's ready to start sweeping out the back. Alright, here's our turn 4, and exactly what happens. He charges his Squigs at the building Skinks. I have my Horde just come right around the flank of what's left of the Witch Elves. So now I should wipe those Witch Elves out easily, and just hopefully, if I could overrun perfectly, right into the flank of those Saurus. In shooting it, if I remember correctly, it's not on the picture here, but we wipe out the other unit of Dark Warlocks that he had that had the level 2 in it. I think they were like 7 Warlocks and the level 2, or it might have been 8. But anyway, they're gone, so that's a big threat out of the way, but there's not much left we can do to stop the 3 Warlocks that are coming towards us now. Basically hoping that the bunker with the BSB can, hold off 3 Warlocks. And once we're in combat, the unit of Witch Elves is taken out easily. Their BSB is dead, and overrun perfectly right into the flank of these Saurus that has the old blood in the Saurus BSB. And that can do a lot of damage, but the odds are completely in the Savage Orcs' favor. I might, if I'm not careful, I might lose my War Boss, but even then, I shouldn't have no trouble breaking these Saurus. And this is just showing the fight that was in the building. I think he heals 5 or so skinks, and the skinks hold, and he's gonna have to push away from the building. And you can also see we've mostly wiped out a unit of chameleon skinks up here. There's another unit of chameleon skinks that's almost off the board, but they're going to rally right at the table edge. So this is their turn 4, and the Dark Riders have wiped out the wolves that were in front of the bunker on our previous turn, and they didn't pursue or anything or overrun. They just held their ground, reformed, and then they're charging into war machines around the other side of the bunker. So the bunker's not really holding them back from doing that. And as you can see, there's another unit of skinks just wheeling around here that's going to also try to start taking out war machines. Then the turn is going to look like this. They're going to wipe out the Doom Diver that's in front of this other Doom Diver of mine. That's going to panic our bunker. And we're going to flee from the closest thing we can see, which is going to be the SARS. We're going to flee all through and think it's the bunker with the BSB and everything is going to flee off the table. That hurts, but not that much at this point. Because as you can also see, I've just destroyed the SARS unit that has the old blood and their BSB in it, run them down, and I'm all, I think I actually run it completely off the table. And so I just have my horde here so that, I can come on the table later without, knocking the models over. I think in the fight in the building, he wipes out those skinks, but he's too large. We have a rule in our tournament where you can't garrison a building with more than 30 models. So even though he's wiped the unit out, he can't go into the building and garrison it, so he's just sitting outside the building. Okay, our turn 5, basically, only things that happens, my horde comes back on the table. In our shooting, we wipe out those skinks that were threatening us down here. And I think we take some shots as chameleons, but we're going to lose both our remaining Doom Divers, and another Rock Lava is going to misfire. So most of our war machines are gone, but all they really have left now is like 3 chameleon skinks, 3 warlocks, and I think the repeater bolt thrower. They may have another unit of chameleon skinks somewhere, but I don't see them in the picture. I can't remember if we destroyed them or not. And so in this turn 5, they're just mopping up with what they have, trying to take out war machines. If you can see, the Malorian lobby here has 1 crew left. He had been shooting with his repeater bolt thrower, and he gets me down to one crewman left, but I'm still hanging in there. And turn 6 is basically saying there's really no need to have a picture for that. It's just a safe thing. They're going to take out the rock lava way down here. I think we maybe take out their repeater bolt thrower, but I don't remember. Our 2 hordes have nothing to do. Basically, it's going to end the way this picture is, other than our rock lava being dead. So this is going to end with a pretty big victory for the double orcs. I think we have around, I want to say we had around 2,800 or so points. No, maybe, I want to say maybe it was around 2,800 or 2,700. It was a little bit more difficult to get, of the max points when you only have 2,500. And we weren't getting a lot for the scenario stuff because we only had, for core units left, 1 unit of Wolf Riders, which you didn't see on the table. We had hidden away. No, we had no Wolf Riders left. That's right. So we only had the Savage Orcs left. So we only got 150 for that. I think we destroyed all 3 of their smallest units. And we had more table quarters because we had 1 unit with 42 left. They had nothing. So, we lost a lot of scenario points. They got a ton of points too because they took out a whole horde, almost all our war machines, 5 of our war machines, 1 of our generals, the BSB. Even though they didn't break it from combat, so they didn't get the extra 100 points, but they still had all those points that run off the table. So we both got a lot of points, but we had a victory by about at least 1,000 points. And I thought maybe we'd be high up on the tables after this, but we're going to wind up on table 5 out of 8 tables. There are 16 teams there going into game 2. And now game 2 is going to be Dwarf Empire Alliance against us. So that's going to be really scary because of all the war machines that we're expecting to face. So I hope you guys enjoyed this as our game 1 of our tournament. I'm sure Malorian will have this battle report from his viewpoint up really soon, and you can see what his ideas of our tactics was. This tournament to me was a whole lot of fun. I enjoyed it so much. We have 2 more real fun games, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I'll see you soon. I apologize again for my voice. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.